Welcome back to the colouring zone. My name's Helena. So today I thought I would share with you these Grabie 12 watercolour. Now this is the travel set. Now I was kindly sent this from Joanna from Grabie, who wrote to me and said if I'd be interested in sharing it with you guys on the channel. And I'm so pleased I said yes, because oh my gosh, it is so sweet. I have had a quick look, and so it comes in this box, and it's just such nice little touches. So it comes in this lovely bag, and I'm just going to get everything out. So you get a rubber with it, a sharpener, and then you get a fine liner. I'm going to be able to get it out. Right, I'm just going to wriggle it out. Very compact in there. You get the swatch card, and then you get this little pad. I'm assuming it's the same paper as this, but I could be wrong, so I'm going to get it out of the packet. No, see, no, it seems to be different. It's a different texture. So it'll be interesting to see what it's like on this as well. So this is like your little watercolour pad. And then it comes with obviously the paints, and then it comes with this. Now, when I first saw this, I was thinking, oh my gosh, what is it? And then I realised that you unscrew it and it is a water brush. So you just screw it on. I've never seen one like this before. It looks like a pen. Anyway, so I'm just going to dip this in some water, I think, just to get the whatever it is, whatever solution they put on it. When they come very stiff, don't they, paintbrushes. I always used to crunch them, but actually apparently you're not meant to do that because it can actually damage the bristles. So these are the paints themselves, and it also comes with this pencil, which is a woodless pencil, which is why it's very kindly they've given us a little holder for it, otherwise it would get absolutely everywhere. So I thought I would swatch them out with you. Now I have got a little pipette here. This card's a little bit dirty, but I'm not too bothered. So this is the swatch card. Now the pipette did not come with this set. It came with some watercolours that I purchased from Etsy, and if you're interested I will link that here. I'm just going to add some water to all of these and get them going, and then we can swatch them out and go from there. So I would really like, so yeah, what my plan is to actually use these on a turtle, a sea turtle, that I'm hoping to do for my son's wall. So normally these are glued in. I'm not an expert in watercolour, guys, by no means am I an expert at all. In fact, I'm very much novice, beginner. But you know, I do know a little bit about certain things, but not much. It's not something I intend to use these for colouring books. So I'm assuming that this is cold pressed watercolour potentially, and then this one's got like a line. I don't know whether you're going to be able to see that, but it's the lines are going vertically. So anyway, right, we'll start with the yellow and see how this brush fares as well. I've got so many brushes, it's unbelievable, and I really need to chuck some away because some of them I've just, you know, they've had their day and I just need to get rid of them. So I am gonna just go like this and then work my way down, and I might actually add more water and see how diluted we can make it and see what happens. So they are very pigmented. So there's the lemon yellow. Yeah, this brush does seem to be holding the pigment a bit, and I'm just carefully trying to get some of it, get all of it off before I go to the next colour. I was just checking to see if I was actually filming, because I have been, I'm a little bit out of practice. You may have noticed that I've not been posting very much in the last couple of months. The video where I share the Etsy paints, I do talk a little bit about what's been going on, and yeah, and I just wanted to reassure you guys that, you know, you know, YouTube is something I intend to do for a very, very long time, and unfortunately the timings of it, I've just had a lot on. But it's, yeah, I have got no plans on, you know, finishing my channel. I intend to carry on with it for as long as I possibly can, and colouring is something I know that, well, I hope so anyway, that it's something that I'm going to do until and beyond, from when I retire, and I'm only 30, so, you know, we've still got a long way to go. So that one there's thingied out quite nicely. Now this one here is cadmium red. Yeah, you're seeing the texture of the paper. I think maybe I added a bit too much water to this when I used the pipette. This does seem to be a very, very nice brush on this paper. Obviously we will need to test that out. I still haven't got round to editing the video I did on paintbrushes, and do you know what, guys, I'm so tempted to scrap that video and do it again, because looking at the prices, I don't know how much I paid for particular paintbrushes at the time, but looking at the prices now, I was gobsmacked by how much they are being sold for, when actually they're really, really, you know, I mean, they're barely student grade paintbrushes, and on Amazon they're selling them for a fortune, when actually you can get some really decent brushes for very little on places like Jackson's Art. So I think I might scrap that video and do it again. Please let me know in the comments below if it's still something you would be interested in seeing, videos on a video on my paintbrushes and the ones that I rate the most, or the ones that I use the most rather than rate, bearing in mind that, you know, I do use them on colouring pages and colouring books. So I don't do any of my own like original art. This is ultramarine. There's the ultramarine, and I am just washing out my brush. Now this one here is royal purple. My stomach is making all sorts of noises. I've just had an Indian, which was very, very nice. Right, there's that one. This is cerulean blue. It'll be interesting to see how you can deepen these colours up, because they are, I mean, even the ultramarine isn't really that dark. But I suppose then it's just about mixing other colours to it, isn't it? Which is not something that I've had much practice at. Right, and this one here is sap green. This one is very, very bright. Right, this is burnt umber. I really want to see that Payne's grey and see what we get for that. Right, I'm just going to add a bit to the top just to darken it up a little bit. Right, now this one here is red copper. Oh yeah, I like this colour. Let's see how light we can get it. Yeah, I really like that colour. Right, now what I might do is I'm going to actually do the white first, just because it is such a light colour and we don't want to be going from Payne's grey to white. So I will just do the white here. Probably can't really see it. Right, now for the black. So this seems to be holding its shape very well, this paintbrush. So this is the Payne's grey. Right, now what I'm going to do is I've just watered it down a little bit by cleaning off my brush, and I just want to see how far we can actually pill it. We can get it quite light. Obviously this is going to dry a lot later, and I will add a bit more up here. Obviously in colouring books it's not possible to do this without pilling your paper, I don't think. This is watercolour paper, so it's going to behave very, very differently. Which is why I thought it would be quite good to have a go on a page. It is a PDF and it's on artful paper, but yeah, we'll see how we get on. Right, I'm just going to clean this off. Now, as you can see, I mean, it's held its point pretty well. I am going to leave this to dry just on the side, but I will show you once they're fully dry. But here you go. It's strange how they've used different paper for the swatch to this, and I mean, there's no, unless, no, even that looks different. So it's a different texture on here. No, it's completely different paper. Yeah, it is different paper. Okay, anyway, so I will leave them to dry and I will be back. So I'll be doing a little bit of a voiceover, but I just wanted to come in and say that the reason why I went over the ink is because I printed this on my printer, and it is an ink printer, an inkjet. So I wanted to make sure that I'd sprayed it with a Winsor & Newton fixative. It is the workable fixative, and it didn't seem to smear it, so that's what I was testing there. And I'm just going in with the lightest colour, no blending on this, or no blending of different colours. This is just the lightest colour, which I believe is cerulean blue. So I will come back to you shortly. So here I'm using the fine liner that they provided, and I'm just filling in all the gaps. And then I thought, well, maybe I should test it first, because I don't know whether it is water resistant. So I wanted to let that dry and then go over it with some water. And actually I found that it did bleed a little. So yeah, I decided not to use the fine liner. I cannot remember which one I used, but I'm sure I will tell you later on. So it did bleed ever so slightly, and maybe I didn't leave it long enough to completely dry. But anyway. So here, I'm not sure why I didn't do it on camera, but I mixed in I think it was some of the darker blue, the lighter blue, and some of the green, as well as the Payne's grey. And it was quite a nice colour, so I decided to use that on the body of the turtle. So I thought I would just come back to you because so it's dried now and it's sort of like pilling up. I'm hoping it will flatten out. I mean, I do plan to frame this and put it in my son's room. Now, you might notice that there are some red dots on here. Now, I got a bit sidetracked whilst I was waiting for this to dry. I decided to use one of the blocks that comes in this pack with the watercolours to do this background, and I stuck it to here with washi tape, and I was just doing flicking, and then I thought, oh, I better move him out of the way, and then I realised I did actually get some on him, so which is a shame. But to be honest, when it's framed, because it is quite small, you're not really going to see it. And I don't know whether I am going to add splatters, but I'm really happy with how this turned out. So as you can see, I used the watercolour. I did use this paintbrush, not the one in the Grabie set, but I also used Cosmic Shimmer Pixie powder, and it was just really fun. So I think it took me about like, I don't know, maybe like half an hour or so, not very long. And I'm sure I will do more of these. This is the first time I've done this sort of thing. So I'm so glad that Grabie sent me this set, because it has inspired me. These little, they're just sort of, they're not very intimidating. Now, I decided to use a certain side of it because there's different textures. This one here has like lines going this way. Whereas this one has got, well, they're not really lines. I don't know whether you're going to be able to see. I'm just going to hold it up. See, it's got those sort of like little crevices. Whereas this side is a lot smoother, but it does have slight lines, very, very thin lines going this way. But anyway, so I thought I would let you know how I managed to get rid of them. Anyway, so we will carry on. I will do it as a speed, otherwise this video is going to be particularly long. So I will be back in a minute. I will come back to you at the end. I am planning on cutting this bit off. I'm not sure whether I'm going to use washi tape yet. I'm not sure. But anyway, so I will be back. So I actually did a few of some few little practice runs of just using this paper. Now on this one I used the bumpier paper side of the paper, and then on these I used a different side, and you can actually see the little lines with the little grooves. But I'm really happy how these came out. So I used the paints, and then I also used the pixie powders on the top, and they were just really, really fun. So I'm really delighted that I have been lucky enough to get this set from Grabie. I think it is a fantastic product. I will link all of the information in the description below, and I'll also pin it as a comment. The presentation is really, really good, and I think it is very thought out in that you've obviously got the little pad, the paints, the brush. I'm sorry, I haven't actually got the brush on me. I have, I'm using it on a different project, which says something, doesn't it? So that's good. And my spatters did go on the rubber a little bit, which is a bit of a shame. The sharpener I've not actually used. But I'm sure it will work great. The metal sharpeners do tend to be quite good. It does look quite small. I've actually got a Prismacolor here, so I might just quickly use it and see what it's like. No, I mean, it works pretty well. So there is my sort of swatch review, and also a few extra things that I created with these. I am absolutely delighted, and I will be doing a lot more of these, and hopefully you know, you'll see this more on the channel. I think I might use these paints in a Lulu Mayo book, Lulu Mayo book, and yeah, so anyway, I will leave it there. I've just realised I've not actually finished off his eyes, so I will need to do that. So as I said, I will leave the link down below, and also there is a 15% voucher, I think. I will put that up on screen. I cannot remember what it is. I think it might be Colouring Zone 15, but I could be wrong, so I will have a check of that. And yes, I'll see you in the next one. Happy colouring, bye!